Hello everybody, my name is Dan and this is another vlog from BragDeal. Today we're going to be talking about what are the things that you need to keep in mind when talking to or communicating with your web designer or graphic designer. Alright, so before we get started, I'm assuming you already picked out a great graphic designer or web designer. If you haven't, or you're kind of in the search for one, make sure you check out one of the videos that I've made in the past about how to pick a good graphic designer. What you'll notice throughout the video as we're working on this design for one of our clients is that we are making sure we take the right measurements, we take the right guidelines, and we follow a specific structure for that specific vision of that client. And that's what we actually do for every single client. So one thing that's really important is when we communicate with our client, we're trying to learn about their vision and make it come true, of course. Now, one of the easiest ways to do that is when our clients are upfront with us. It might sound like such an obvious thing, be upfront with your designer, but a lot of people, when they receive a design proposal or when they receive something that they might assume that took a lot of time to make, it might be a little bit hard for them to say how they really feel about it, and they don't want to disappoint the designer for whatever reason. And that's actually the worst thing for us as designers, because now we can kind of sense when our client is not 100% happy, and it's hard for us to try to figure out why the reason is when we did follow all the instructions. You have to be 100% upfront, honest, and let us know. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I just don't like it, something about it, I don't know what it is, let's try it again, let's try something new, maybe we'll refine the colors, whatever it is, let's try something else. And in this case, usually you go back to the drawing board and you try to figure out together, try to be on the same page so that you can come up with a design that will fulfill the vision that you have. Now, of course, when you're asking for this revision, or maybe even when you start a fresh new design, make sure you understand that it doesn't just take a couple hours to create an amazing design. Everything takes a process from sketches to actually, as you can see on the screen, to drawing and measurements and so on. So you want to allow proper time, everything has to be reasonable to get the results that you want. If you think that a design will be done in 1 hour or 2 hours, then the quality will obviously be relatively as bad to that too. One amazing way to make your designer's life a little bit easier is to obviously provide them with some examples, or maybe even draw some sketches, stick figures, or whatever the thoughts are that you have, put them on paper and pass it to your designer so they have an easier way of understanding what is that you're trying to get at. Now, that being said, yes, you are drawing things down and yes, this is your idea, but you also want to make sure you let the designer do their job. If you are gonna use the designer as a tool to create the design, then that's not gonna happen, because at the end result, from my experience at least, most of the time the client told me, hey, change this, change that, it ended up being something that they're not really happy with, because their vision is one thing, but when they see it in reality, it becomes something completely different. And that's what you gotta kind of let the designer do their work outside the box that you're used to, and next thing you know, that could potentially be the next thing that you fall in love with. Of course, when a designer sends you their work, make sure you respect their time as well, because they have dedicated their time, they have worked on it for a long time to make sure that they fulfill your vision. And if you take weeks and weeks to reply back because you're busy in your life and your business, then obviously the idea and the concept slowly fade away, and when the designer has to come back to it later, they either might be swamped with new projects, they might be not as motivated anymore because you're not showing much motivation towards the project, and it just makes the process go so much longer and so much more not as smooth as it could have been. And the last thing I want to say is make sure you ask questions when you have them. Don't be afraid to annoy your designer. Our job is to understand you and make sure we do the proper work because you paid for it. And we want to make sure that you're happy with the quality at the end. So by you asking questions, we start slowly figuring out new things that you're thinking about and how your thought process works. And we're able to use that information to guide us towards the right vision that you had towards the design. Alright guys, so I'm not going to go through the entire design process because it does take some time. I wanted just to show you quickly an idea of just the top area of the website, the menu setup and the slider setup and so on. But I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, please make sure you like and share it. Subscribe to our channel. We do have weekly videos every Monday, and I will make sure to answer any questions in the comments below, or shoot me a direct email as well. I'll be more than happy to answer. Until next time guys, I'll see you in the next video.